Hello, Origin Gaming. Welcome to the Week 6 Season 2 announcement for the Destiny 2 League that we are currently hosting. It looks like we have a lot of people already in the chat. That's 2 people, I guess. You just say a lot of words. Currently in the chat, 3 now. So without further ado, we'll get cracking on this. So for raids, we have no change. Leviathan and Scourge of the Pest. Both teams have at least completed a Leviathan. I think we're waiting on Scourges for both of them. So, again, Leviathan and Scourge of the Past, this is the last week to get those 2 raids completed. For week 6, the ordeal is Garden World. So you're fighting Panoptes in the Infinite Forest this week. The modifiers are Barrier and Auto and Overload. So we're going to run kinetic, sub or auto rifles. Kinetic is sub or auto rifle. An energy weapon, we're going to run fusions. And for our heavy weapon, we're going to run machine guns. So again, that's sub or auto for kinetic, fusions for energy, and a machine gun for heavy slots. For subclasses for that, we will go with no subclass restrictions this week. Pick your poison, have fun, enjoy it, get after it, and we'll see how that goes. This is the second week of Gambit, so no changes to our last week's loadout. So that, again, will be all bows in a best of 3 rounds of just plain old regular Gambit. So finally, PvP. So this one's going to be a little bit complicated. We're going to go 5v5. It's going to be a 10-minute round. So how it's going to work is everyone's going to spawn in 5v5, but you're going to each have one person allowed to fight at a time. So the 4 on each team will stay in their spawn locations. And the 2 will come out. They'll get 3 lives. So essentially 1v1 for 3 lives. When that person dies, the other person's lives don't reset. So if they already have 2 deaths, they only get 1 more. The next person will take their spot, and they will. The person who lost will just go hang out with the other group of people. If you kill the other group of combatants, then you automatically forfeit your lives. So you can't just like willy-nilly shoot a rocket launcher. It accidentally hits the other 4. Anyone dies, you're out. So if you kill anyone who is not the person on the field who is supposed to be fighting you, you die. If you get up from your spot and start running around before it's your turn, you lose 1 life. So so just don't go around running around. You lose 1 life. If you die while you're running around, you have no more lives left. So I'll explain that one more time. 5v5, you'll spawn in, 4 people will essentially kneel at the spawn point. The other 2 will go head to head, 1v1 for 3 till the person dies 3 times. So the person dies 3 times. New person comes in, the last person sits down. The old person, if they get spawned at a weird spot, can head back to the spawn point, but that is the only movement they can make. They cannot go and attack or anything like that. If you are fighting currently and you accidentally kill one of the people not in the game, then you forfeit your lives and you're replaced by the next person. If you get up and move beyond the starting point, you lose your life. And if you die while doing that, you forfeit all 3 of your lives. So that should be kind of interesting, I think, a little complicated. So essentially it's a series of 1v1s. So I think that'll be different and interesting for that. So and you do not get your lives. So if say it's Diamond versus Gabby in the first round, and Gabby kills Diamond twice, Diamond kills Gabby 3 times. Diamond still only has 1 life left. He doesn't get those 2 other sure lives back. So essentially you have 15 lives among your team to survive. So 1v1 for, actually we'll say 5 lives instead of 3, 5 lives. I think it'll make it, 3 will be a little too short. So 5 lives. With that, pick your loadout. Anything you want is good to go. Again, watch your supers, because if you Nova Bomb and it tracks to that group and they all die, you're out. So good luck with that. Happy hunting, Guardians. Oh, and before I close out, just a recap from last week. So currently the season totals stand at Tyrants on Parade with a 2-point lead with 81 points to the 79 from Hot Dog Warriors. That does not include the raid that the Hot Dog War. I do not believe it includes the raid that Hot Dog Warriors completed last week. No, it does not. No, it doesn't. So add those 7 points in real quick. So they are in the lead by 5 points, but that is without Tyrants having completed scored Leviathan yet. Hot Dog Warriors got their first PvP loss this week, so congrats on that. And then Tyrants on Parade maintained their Nightfall dominance, winning again this past week. So the past week standings, Tyrants won. Let's see, where is it? Tyrants won 10-6 before the raid, giving them again a 2-point lead, so much closer than last season. And then one last thing, I mentioned it, I started teased it last week. You are not allowed to go after the people hiding, Kami. Well, you're not even in the league, so whatever, do what you want, I guess. So next season, I'm thinking we're going to try this one more time. I know that the participation's been the issue for the past 2 seasons. So the way I'm thinking of fixing that, essentially, we're going to look at, you can either sign up as you can sign up as an individual or up to 4 people. So it's 1 to 4 people. If the person who's supposed to play hides with the others, let me think about that while I'm explaining this part. So 1 to 4 people. This way you can hold yourselves accountable. So I sign up with 3 other people that I know are going to play. I don't want to make it full teams, because part of the whole idea of the league was that you play with people that you've never played with before. It would depend on how many people sign up and what the teams look like, how we're going to do the league. But how about this? If they're in the group up to 4, Kami, I'll explain. Give me a second. If they stay in the section, if they shoot from the group of people, that's a life. And if they're in that group for more than 5 seconds, that's a life. So essentially they spawn in, they have to get out of there quickly. I don't think they shouldn't respawn on top of that group, hopefully. But if they respawn on that group, they have 5 seconds to get out. And if they run into that group from out of that group, then that's a life. So you run into the group from not the group, you lose a life. And then if you shoot while you're in that group, so essentially you spawn in and shoot, you lose a life. Yeah, we'll go with that. Does that work, Frank, for you? So you're not going to quite make your own. Well, it'll sort of be make your own team. So you'll pick up to four people that you want to be on a team with. This way, if the new person joins and doesn't have any friends, because obviously they wouldn't have friends if they're joining our group, because if you have friends, you wouldn't play with us. That's fine. We accept that. So you can still participate. We'll divvy it out. But we will somehow split the teams, try to figure out numbers. This way, if you have four people, if it's a 4v4 PvP match, it's a lot easier for four people who traditionally play together to make times together rather than a bunch of complete strangers. Again, the goal would be that you intermix the teams. But if that's not possible, I do like the league. I think that it is fun and would be better if we had more participation. But yeah, so up to four people. At that point, I'd have to figure out how we are going to divvy out the teams. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking at for next season. If you like the idea, comment on the weekly schedule post. I'll talk about it there as well. If you don't like the idea, also let me know. But this way, 4 keeps us from having 6, and it's just like a bunch of 6 people. You still have to play with them to raid. So, we'll see how it goes. But happy hunting, Guardians. Good luck on week 6. And I'll see you all next week. Prez out.